Hi everybody, this is Peter. Today I'm going to be showing you how to play fast action football from Downey Games, and it was developed by Phil Riviere, and it's again published by Downey Games. And this is they have many football games, Downey, and this is I haven't played really any of the others. I've only played game-winning drives, so I can't really compare versus Gridiron Wars or Momentum Football or Mean Genes Football for comparison. So, but this is a fairly simpler football game. Still a play-by-play game. Probably going to take you an hour and a half to 2 hours to play a game, and yeah. So anyway, so game comes with these rules, and has a nice sheet here where with a close-up of the fast action cards that it uses and what each of the numbers mean. And then you have a playboard. This isn't the playboard that comes with the game. This is one that I guess I downloaded probably from the Tabletop Sports website at the time. And then this is one of the score sheets that you can use. They have a few different kinds of score sheets depending on the style, depending on if you record stats or not. And then we have the teams come on team sheets, so there's no individual player cards. Yeah, so the team sheets. So like I said, it's one team per sheet. So this is the 1972 Cincinnati Bengals. So you have the defensive part on the top and the offense at the bottom. So you have run defense, pass coverage defense. And I'll explain this, what the different things mean as I'll do some sample play. There's also goal line, run defense, goal line, pass defense, interception return, fumble return charts, got a punting chart, kickoff chart, field goals, and defensive players for interceptions and sacks. And then down here, we have the play calling tendency for the team. So it's this is you see 10 to 43 for the Bengals here. The range is 10 to 69. So on the fast action card, you just look up a number and then you check it against this range to see if it's a pass or a run. This game just has simple pass and run. It doesn't say what type of run or what type of pass play or not. There's a lost fumble range. Then you have a team penalty range and a fumble range. And then you have the individual rushers and receivers. This number on the side is checked against a 1 to 20 number to see who's actually going to be the rusher. Same with the receivers. And here you have the quarterback chart and the range of whether they get sacked or run or complete pass, incomplete, interception. And then if they run, then you would refer to this chart here. And then down here you have the punt return and kickoff return charts. And then I guess the meat and potatoes of this game are the facts. This game is completely fact driven. So the game comes with 60 facts, and they urge you to print out 2 copies. And I bought the ebook version, and they give you black and white copies as well as color, so you don't have to print these out in color if you don't want to, just so you know. So at the top, in this game, you're going to be flipping facts, like getting only getting one result per fact. So at the top, it's either going to say offense, defense, or momentum, and that just tells you which chart you're going to read the play from, the play result. So it's either going to be from the offensive chart, the defensive chart, or the team that has momentum at the time, and I'll explain the momentum figures here. Run catch number is a 2 to 12. Punt, I think, is a 1 to 20 number. Field goal, point after touchdown, I think is a 10 to 69 number. Same thing with this pass number. All returns, yeah, it's all different ones. So sacked, kickoff, long gain, blocked or return. You're checking that on the on punts. This penalty fumble number you're going to be looking at the beginning of every play to see whether there's going to be a penalty or fumble on the play. Player is just the number that you're going to use to determine who the rusher or the receiver is, and this number here is a 10 to 69 number just to determine whether it's going to be a run or a pass, and this is used in certain situations. This number here. So I guess what I'll do is I'll just play a bit of a game here, a few plays from scrimmage, and you'll see how it plays. So I've got the 72 Bengals against the Browns. So we're going to start with a kickoff. And so kickoff, we look at the number 9. Let's say Cincinnati's kicking off. And then I look on the Cincinnati's kickoff chart. On 9, it says to the opponent's 6. So then you flip the card and you check the player number 16 to see who the kickoff returner is going to be, and in this case it's Bobby Majors. Then you flip the fact and you check to see if there's going to be a penalty or a fumble, and you check this number against the team penalty, opposing penalty fumble range on the receiving team, and this number is well inside. The penalty numbers are from like 10 to 15 or something like that, and the fumble ranges are usually 68, 69. So you can tell quite quickly that there's not going to be anything extraneous happening on this play. So then we just flip and we check the all returns number, and that's 9. And we look on Bobby Majors' chart, and 9 is a 20-yard return. So he returns it to the 26, and then I just indicate that. So at the beginning of the game, the home team starts with momentum on the first drive. So I just use a pawn here to indicate that this is the team that has momentum. Okay. So I'm going to do our first play here, and the first thing you check on the player scrimmage is you check the penalty fumble number. Again, nothing's going to happen here. So then you flip again and then you check the this part here at the top of the FAQ, and in this case it says the team with you're going to be reading from the team with momentum. So I just use another pawn to move that around. And then we check this number here, 65, against the play calling tendency of the Browns, 10 to 43 as a run. So this is going to be a pass. So on a pass, we're going to look at this pass number here, 35, and then we're going to check against Mike, the quarterback's chart here. So 35 is a complete pass. So we flip, and we see who the player is, and 17 corresponds to Bo Scott. And then we look at the run catch number, 8, and we just read over, and 8 is a 6-yard gain. So a 6-yard pass to Bo Scott. So now we're at second down. Second and 4. So look, flip, penalty fumble number is 41, so no penalty or fumble. We're going to be reading from the offense, so this will be from the Browns chart. And 29 is in the run, so this is going to be a run. So for the running play, we're going to check to see who's going to be the rusher. So 9, that's Leroy Kelly. And then we look at the run catch number, 5, and it's a 5-yard gain, so that's a first down. So they're out to the 37. Okay, so do another play here. Penalty fumble number, nothing happens. And it says defense, so I'm just going to mark that. And 50, so it's going to be a pass. So the pass number is 23. So we're going to look on the Bengals pass defense chart, and 23 corresponds to a complete pass. So, for instance, the Bengals sacked range is 10 to 16, quarterback run 17 to 19, complete pass 20 to 43, incomplete 44 to 66, and interception 67 to 69. So in this case, it's a complete pass. So we just do the same thing again, find out who the receiver is going to be. 7, that's fair hooker. And then we use the run catch number. And we look at, and because it was we looked on the defensive chart, we look on the pass coverage defense chart here and look up 4, and it's a 15-yard gain. So just for comparison, 4 on fair hooker's chart is 17. So you can excuse me. So you can see a bit of the influence of the defense on that. So it's a 15-yard gain. So that's past midfield out to the Cincinnati 48. Yeah, so I just wanted to give you an idea of a regular placement scrimmage and how it works. And it's a lot of fact flipping, but it just flows really well. And it's I don't know a lot of the ins and outs of football, so this is a good game for me. It's fairly simple. I don't know a lot about the type of passing plays and type of running plays to call and defense, so it's all taken care of by this game, so which is nice. So it's very easy to play solitaire. And you saw a kickoff, and I can go through the motions of what a punt is. What happens? Again, first you check the penalty fumble number, and there's nothing happening there. And then we look at the punt number. It's a 7. Let's say the Browns are punting, so 7. And you look on the punting chart, and it's a 42-yard punt. And then you draw a fact, and you look at this blocked return number. And you look at the returned range on the punter, and his range is 1 to 11. This is a 1 to 20 number, 1 to 11, and the number from the FAC is 14. So in this case, there's no return, or the receiver called a fair catch. But if let's say it was within the range, then you would just flip a FAC, get the player number. So the punt return would be Tommy Casanova in this case, and then you look at all returns, and you look at the 7 on Casanova's chart, and that's a 9-yard return. Occasionally they have a thing where if on a result of 2, if you get a result of 2, you'll see LG, which means long gain. So what you would do is you would flip a FAC. Sorry, and you look at the long gain number, and it says 9. So let's say Casanova, we drew a 2 for Casanova's gain there, and say long gain. So then the long gain number was 9, and you would look at this LG column at the end. It says times 5 plus 6. So you would take that long gain number from the FAC, 9, multiply that by 5, so that's 45, and add 6 at 51. So that'd be a 51-yard return on that punt. So that's how that works. So that's basically it. Like I said, it's fairly simple game to learn. It might seem a lot with all the information on the facts, but once you get into the flow of it and the routine, it flows pretty quickly. And like I said, it takes about probably an hour and a half to 2 hours to play a game, depending on whether you're keeping stats or not. They have, I think, pretty much every NFL season from, well, before the NFL, the season's going back to the 40s. The mid-1940s, I think, with the All-American Football Conference, and the AFL, of course, in the 60s, and then there's some college sets available too. There's some decades college sets from the 60s, 70s, 80s, or something like that, and then more recently they've put out a college set every year, probably of the top teams. I'm not sure how many teams are in the sets for the college. Yeah, and it's available as printed or PDF or an ebook. If you get the ebook version, they also include a fact flipper in Excel. So if you don't want to print out the fact deck, you can use the Excel fact flipper instead. So yeah, if you like a simple football game, I'd highly recommend this. And even if you like a detailed football game, you might like this. I know some people aren't keen on using facts for their games, so that might be a deal breaker for some people. But you wouldn't necessarily have to use all the facts. You could, since a lot of things are a 2 to 12 number, you could use a 2d6 for those numbers. So you would still have to use the 10 to 69 number to find out if it's a run or a pass, and the penalty fumble thing, and the result on a pass play. So yes. Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot to mention this. This is one of the score sheets that comes. You can use the sort of standard timing system, where it's like 30 seconds for a play from scrimmage, and 15 seconds for an incomplete pass or whatever. Or you could also use something where you would take the runs and passes numbers for both teams. So you add these two together, and then you would add the two for the other team, add them all together, and then you would subtract 4 and divide by 4. So say those numbers added up to 124, subtract 4, you get 120, and divide by 4, you get 30. So that would mean 30 plays per quarter. And then this score sheet here, you can just tick off the 30 plays per quarter if you want to do the timing that way. All right, so anyway, that's Fast Action Football by Downey Games. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.